She sneezed, after which a silence reverberated off the hollowed walls around her, half expecting someone, anyone, to at least acknowledge her solitary existence, let alone her sniffly condition to offer some condolence, however trite. No one said bless you, or turned a head, or gave a shit, frankly. She was alone in the world, living and dying this sad, lonely life, fading out of being, without so much as a glance from a neighboring individual. And if that wasn't depressing enough, now she had to exit this strange, unfeeling phase of being to the next, with a fucking cold. She looked around, taking in everything and nothing in particular. Lives at arm's length and yet worlds apart. Who were all these strange fucking people? Where did they come from? Why so contently absorbed in their futile, meager triviality? How had they grown to be so distantly apathetic about themselves, let alone their fellow human beside them? If she had been stronger, she would have gotten angry, without question. Let the seething fury beneath the surface manifest and dwell within her until she voiced her dissatisfaction with the lackluster lives of all those around her with such command that she would have shook people to their core, inspiring and mesmerizing and sparking aflame the cold, lifeless monotony of those around her with a flint of passion. That's it, a passion that would grow and glow and become a glorious blaze, instilling such a force of being that those lifeless boars would have jumped out of their seats and ran, literally, to or after their dormant ambitions with a newfound vitality, awakening and exciting all those around with a reinvigorated sense of purpose, a purpose they had let fade out and had long abandoned lifetimes ago. Somewhere between childhood and adolescence, when the world says now, time to grow up, and everyone so willingly complies, without any fight or resistance or even questioning why they must do so in the first place. Or perhaps they simply had never experienced, ever, in their meek, safe, entirely dull existence, such a sense of fortitude within their unexamined lives. Unfortunately, in what had become all too predictably familiar to her, she did nothing. Her imagination had wandered off again. She was far too feeble, at least in her mind, to do much besides drift off to sleep, again, and float through life. At least, that's what she had successfully convinced herself of. Yeah, that was it. She was exceptional, though mostly at deluding herself of the reasons things around her were the way they were, rather than act to reveal them otherwise. It was much easier to simply pass the time until no more, whenever it may be and whatever that even meant. Continue living a completely undaring, perfectly boring life, void of chances, disrupting the status quo, or the mere hint of behaving beyond what was socially acceptable. Acceptable to the same sorry individuals she had come to loathe so much in their meager, small lives. The cruel irony infuriated her. But still, not enough to fucking do something about it. And so, she remained trapped in a sort of limbo of her own making, between existing and really living, going along to get along, and throwing it all to the wind and screaming, fuck it. And not just screaming it, but believing it, embracing it, fully and finally. Out of nowhere, she let out a loud, fuck it, with an unexpected, exhilarating release. At once, she felt a burden lifted.